me senté a charlar con los geniales hermanos Russo, directores de Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, entre tantas otras del universo Marvel, para hablar sobre AI, streaming y el futuro de la creatividad.
That train has left the station. We're not going to change people's habits. A 12-year-old in Thailand can make a Marvel movie if they want to make a Marvel movie. Maybe it's better than any Marvel movie that's ever been made.
Well, hi guys, how are you doing?
Good,
very good, thank you.
I want to ask you, how do you feel about art made by AI? This AI in this movie is very important. So what's your take on that?
I mean, art made by AI is going to be very different than art made by human beings. AI is alien in a way. It's an alien intelligence. It doesn't have a childhood. It doesn't skin its knee. It doesn't run around and, interact in real life. So its opinions and its artistic aesthetic is going to be derived from what it thinks we want to watch and see. So we'll always have that layer to it. That doesn't mean it won't be interesting. Like abstract art is interesting to look at, but it will never quite capture the human experience, I don't think, in a way that a human can capture the human experience. So we're less concerned about AI making art than we are about the artists having the tools service them rather than vice versa. We think that's where the most critical aspect of AI moving forward with filmmakers, with artists in general, is that the artists control the tool, understand the tool completely, the tools serve the artist, and that there's always a human interaction between whatever the AI is creating and it going out to the world.
Herm, get us out of here!
When you were starting, you said in interviews you were heavy influenced by science fiction and by many things that inspired you. Would you have liked to have those tools in those days?
I mean, it's a great point, right? Because everything you do as a filmmaker is about imagination. You're trying to translate your imagination as you see it to screen for everyone else to see it and enjoy it, hopefully. And, there's a golden age of superhero movies that started about 20 years ago because the computer graphics started to become photoreal. And so you could feel like you were actually seeing what you could see in your head now out here. I think that will be a tempting component to new technologies. It'll help you to do that faster. It'll help you to do it cheaper. One value of that is that means that people anywhere in the world can access that scale of storytelling. That a 12-year-old in Thailand can make a Marvel movie if they want to make a Marvel movie. Maybe it's better than any Marvel movie that's ever been made. That's where there's some real value in those tools allowing people access that normally or traditionally wouldn't have that access.
You're talking about scale, you being part of the highest grossing films in the history of mankind, and at the same time you made a huge movie with huge talents, with even the boys casts. It's amazing, from Brian Cox, Alan Tudyk, and Woody Harrelson even doing voices. It's like huge, and at the same time many people are going to see that film maybe on a cell phone because it's on a streaming platform. How do you feel about that, making a movie that maybe took 7 years of your life and at the same time not being on a theater?
We've had long lives as filmmakers. We used to make no-budget movies and bring them to film festivals, and very few people would see them. And, we had long life in television. We've made big movies and small movies. And so we try not to judge, right? We don't look at it as our job to dictate how people experience storytelling. We just look at it as our job to tell great stories, to try and engage people with a great story. And we want to meet them where they are. We want to find them where they are. We want to reach them however we can. So we try to be agnostic in terms of how you get there and just focus on what the storytelling is.
You didn't change or dial anything differently because you understood that this was going to be on a platform?
You just do it exactly the way that you want to deliver the movie. Look, we're not going to change people's habits. That train has left the station, right? The pandemic probably did more to accelerate that than anything we could ever do to try to stop it. People live on their phones now. They live on their televisions. Most people have flat screen televisions in their home. Now they have an experience, if you sit close to it, it gives them a relative similar experience, right? So we grew up going to the theater. We understood that emotional connection you had as a sense of community. But even the theater changes. Now the people are on their phones while they're watching movies, while you're trying to watch a movie, right? So everything has changed. We can't consider it all in sort of a vacuum anymore, right? So we just like telling stories. And we get the same value out of sitting in a room telling a story as we do telling it to 150 million people. Because the response of the story is what's most valuable to us. The audience response is what's most valuable to us.
But I will say this about this movie, The Electric State in particular. This is a big fantasy film set in an original world with larger than life characters. And so we thought about it that way. That's how we envisioned it. That's how we executed it.
To live it in Dolby Atmos, for example, at home was a really, you could really get the sense of all the things you've done. I needed, maybe it would have been cool to have an 85 or 100-inch screen, but thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
I would need 10 more minutes to talk with you, but enjoy your...
Thank you, appreciate it. Those were great questions, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you.